Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Any Action Sportscast. I'm your host, Effie, and this week we're going to be going over UFC San Diego, Chito Vera versus Dominick Cruz. Before we do that, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So far this year, we're up 36.30 units. Our units are $40, so we're up $1,450. We are, though, coming off our first losing week in 6 weeks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It sucks that we took a loss, but it was such a crazy night of fights. Every single fight finished that night, and the variance was just crazy, man. So with that, before we get into UFC San Diego, we got to recap our bets. Like I said, they went 1-3. Our first bet of the night was Brian Battle via decision, plus 115. And that was a half unit shot, and he had kicked his opponent into next week. Sato was toast. He was doing the dab like McKinney said on the ground. Absolutely stunning KO. Definitely had my jaw dropping in there for sure. I was absolutely in shock. Did not expect that at all. Great debut at 170, and looking forward to big things from him. After that, we had a two-leg parlay that busted. We had the Ultimate Fighter finale of fighters, Zach Puga and Brogan Walker, plus 173 for a 1-unit shot on a parlay. And this got busted when Zach Puga got knocked out and also Walker got finished. I actually can't remember which one came first, but yeah, man, both people got finished here. Didn't expect that at all. Walker has like literally the worst fight IQ I've ever seen in a fighter. She was losing the clinch and grappling positions. She was getting controlled very badly. She finally gets up. What's the first thing she does? She jumps right back in the clinch. I couldn't believe it. And then Puga, man, got caught. He was winning that fight, in my opinion. Or he was at least doing well. And a little bit, in control, you could say. But yeah, dude, got caught with that left hand, slept bad. Usman gets a contract. And dude, after that, we had Jeff Neal via decision, plus 400 for a half-unit shot. And he sleeps Luque, finishes Luque for the first time in his 19 UFC fights. I just couldn't believe it, man. We were so close to hitting a plus 400 odd bet. I was just shocked at those odds. And man, we were so close. Like I said, I thought it was 1-1 going into round 3. And obviously, Jeff Neal was winning the beginning of that round. And man, couldn't get it done. And that really hurt. That one secured a loss on the night for us. If he would have won, we could have made profit and extended our winning streak there to 7. But our winning bet on the night that made it not that bad was a 2-leg parlay. We had Spivak and Jamal Hill, minus 103, 1.03 units to win 1. And that hit. Spivak, executed an obvious game plan, an easy game plan, and dominated his opponent. And it was a little bit of an early stoppage, in my opinion, but, I'll take it. And after that, Hill's fight was way closer with Santos than I expected it to be. And shout out to Santos, man. He still has that dog in him. He shot, I think, 20 takedowns. Didn't expect that at all. That fight was close, man. But Hill has that dog in him too, and he got the finish. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do in that division for sure. But with that, let's get right into this card, man. There's a lot of fights we got to talk about. A lot of fights that are scheduled for last week that got put on this week. And yeah, it should be a good fight card. So let's get into it. In the main event at UFC San Diego, we have Chito Vera taking on the legend Dominick Cruz. Now, Chito comes in as a favorite, and he is climbing at minus 250, where Dominick Cruz is holding steady around plus 180, plus 185. Now, the line opened Vera minus 190, and it's been bet all the way up. Chito Vera comes into the fight at 21-7-1, where Dominick Cruz comes in at 24-3. In their last 5 fights, Vera is 4-1, where Dominick Cruz is 3-2. Now, in my opinion, ever since Dominick Cruz came back from that Henry Cejudo loss, he's won, but he's sort of not looked obviously the same, and he's sort of on a bit of regression. Just, hard to blame the guy. He's going to be 7 years older than Marlon Vera here, so Marlon Vera clearly has the youth advantage here, where you would think that Dominick Cruz, would have the experience advantage, where he does. He's been pro for a long time, but like fighting in WEC, as obviously everyone knows who he is and his accolades and stuff, but Vera's been fighting in the UFC for a long time as well. It's not like he's some brand new guy fresh off the block. I think not a lot of people know how experienced he is in the UFC. Been around for a while, and he's finally making a run here. So I will say off the top, guys, I'm picking Chito Vera here, and I do think that price is fair. I don't think that it's that wide. If it gets to around plus or minus 275, minus 280, 300, maybe then I'd probably back off. But I like Vera as a parlay pierce. I'll tell you why. So Dominick Cruz, in his last fight, got dropped by Pedro Munoz and rallied back hard to win that fight. He, they didn't, man. He's got that dog in him. But Pedro Munoz, dude, he's not very good in my opinion either. He's sort of a fading fighter as well. And in Chito Vera's last fight, to me, it proved that he could be very hittable and wear damage well and still keep moving forward. As the fights go on and as the rounds go on, I don't want to say it gets better, but he's totally fine with that, and he's dangerous at all moments. This is a 5-round fight, guys. In the 3-round fight, I probably favor Dominick Cruz way more with just his elusiveness and his footwork and his ability to mix up his grappling. But here, guys, I really do think that Chito Vera is going to be able to find a finish late or just dominate a decision here, because Dominick Cruz has proven to be hittable. I mean, I know it's funny to say that when you look at the stats from the last fight. Rob Font landed over 200 significant strikes on Vera, but if you look at Vera, he didn't wear it. He didn't look busted up. If you would have told me before that fight that Font's gonna land that much, I would have picked Font. I'm like, oh hell yeah, it's gonna be an easy fight. But no, he got dropped 3 times. Vera landed on him clean, and he's good, man. I think he's coming on as a fighter. But I will say, I can see a fight. I can see a world where Dominick Cruz is 50-50 in the exchanges, maybe, you know, getting the more significant strikes landed on him, doing the more damage getting landed on him, but he's putting the volume out, and then he mixes it in his wrestling, guys. If you look at his Instagram, he's, you know, training with guys like Roman Bravo Young, 2-time Penn State national champion. So I wouldn't be surprised at all for Dominick Cruz to think, you know what, this is close, I'm gonna try to steal around here and there at times and try to win the fight that way. If Dominick Cruz wins, he's definitely gonna win a decision. But I do think that Vera has enough to win here. And it's just a new era, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets finished. I know it's kind of funny to say because we know how durable Dominick Cruz is. But Henry got him, and yeah, like I said, I think it's a new era. So you're going to need Chito Vera to win via decision or late finish. And in the co-main event at UFC San Diego, we have a featherweight fight between David Onama and Nate Landwehr. Now, Onama comes in as a favorite at -275. Nate, the underdog, at +210. Onama is 10-1. Nate Landwehr is 15-4. In Onama's last 5 fights, he is 4-1, where Nate Landwehr is 3-2. Both losses via knockout. Now, guys, there's a 6-year age gap here. Onama will be the younger fighter. He has a 4-inch reach advantage over Nate, the older fighter, as well. But, guys, both these guys have finishing ability, and one of these guys is going to get finished. Nate Landwehr, you know, don't get the guy, you know, crooked. Like, he can finish the fight. He has great experience overseas. He did fight some pretty good fighters before coming to the UFC. The thing is, in his 4 UFC fights, he's been finishing half of them. Whereas Onama, he has 10 professional wins, and all of them have been via finish. In his 1 loss as a pro, it was via decision on short notice. So the guy can finish fights, guys. It's all or nothing with this dude. So yeah, give me Onama, man. The price is a little wide though. He's a little bit inexperienced in my opinion, where Nate Landwehr, like I said, has fought potent, you know, good fighters, strikers like him. Expect a striking battle here. Don't expect either guy to shoot a takedown. So yeah, someone's gonna get knocked out. Look at that under. Fight doesn't go the distance, all that. Fight doesn't start round 3. But give me Onama. I don't know if I'll be betting this fight or even putting him on a parlay, but I do think he has a chance to finish Nate. But at the same time, guys, Nate can get and clip David as well. Super young fighter in the UFC for sure. So I will go ahead with the pick David Onama via knockout, 2nd round. And up next, we have a middleweight fight between Gerald Meerschaert and Bruno Silva. Silva comes in as a favorite at -300, where Gerald is the underdog at +240. Now, Gerald Meerschaert is 34-15, and the favorite Bruno Silva is 22-7. In Gerald's last 5 fights, he's 3-2. Bruno Silva is 4-1. Now, this is a classic striker versus a grappler fight. Silva is going to be needing not to get choked out on the ground here. The floor is lava type fight for Silva. 100% can finish Gerald on the feet, and Gerald knows this. Guys, this is going to be Gerald's 50th professional fight. It's insane to me. That's insane. It's really insane that he's only 1 year older than Silva. So you would think that with that much experience, that many fights under your belt, you'd be really old. He's just like Anthony Smith, where he's not even that old, but he has so many fights. He has over 25 professional submissions on his record. Absolute dangerous on the ground. But I don't like when guys are too one-dimensional like that, guys. Like, on the feet, he's not very good at all. He's very hittable. He's been knocked out in 3 out of his 7 UFC fights. Once he gets knocked out here, which I do think it happens, have gotten knocked out in half of his UFC fights, 4 out of 8. Because Silva's a beast on the feet, man. He's coming off losing to Pereira, who's fighting for the belt against Izzy, and he did get knocked out win the decision. Both guys gassed out bad, and if Pereira had any sort of grappling, he would have been able to take Silva down like this, like that, like in an instant. Just like Sanchez had success taking him down. Silva's been proven to be able to get taken down, and he's been proven to get submitted. So it's not like open and shut case that he's going to come in here and knock out Gerald. If you're going to bet Gerald, bet him via submission. Just avoid the +240, because there's absolutely no way on this earth that he's going to win a decision against Silva. If he does, I'll do 2 shoes. Like, I'll do something crazy for if Gerald wins the decision here. Because if he wins, he's going to win via submission off his back. Or maybe a guillotine or whatever. But you get my point. He's going to win via submission. But I pick Silva to win via knockout. I don't think that his gas tank, which is suspect, is going to be in question here, because I don't think he's going to need it. I think he's going to knock him out in the 1st or 2nd round. And keep this fight on the feet. I trust him to avoid the ground and get this knockout. So give me Bruno Silva via 1st or 2nd round knockout. And up next, we have a women's flyweight fight between Nina Nunes and Cynthia Calvillo. Calvillo is the favorite at -165, and Nina Nunes the underdog at +140. Calvillo is 9-4-1 in her career, whereas Nina Nunes is 10-7. Nunes is 3-2 in her last 5 fights, and Calvillo is 1-4-1 in her last 5 fights. Now, I expected to see a huge age gap when I went to go study this fight, but there's only a 1-year age gap, and both these girls aren't that, or they're pretty old, but they're not that old. No offense. Calvillo is 35, Nunes is 36. Now, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and pick Nunes. Absolutely no way. One of my buddies' coaches, Cynthia Calvillo, holds pads for her, trains her all the time. So I'm picking her, man. Absolutely no way I'm gonna pick against her. But if I'm being objective, she should win this fight. And but it is tricky to bet on her, guys. She's 1-4-1 in her last 5 fights, but the big red flag was her last fight against KGB Lee. She quit on the stool. I think it was a broken hand or some sort of injury where she couldn't go. And I thought she was gonna win that fight. So I was shocked to see her get beat down that bad and to quit. But then Nunes, man, she just had that baby, hasn't fought in a year, lost to Mackenzie Dern and Tatiana Swarnis on 2-fight losing streak. But I think that both those girls beat Calvillo at this point. But it's weird because she didn't fight in now it's been over a year. But even before that, she took like a 2-year break before that. And so she's been really inactive. In the last 4 years, she has 2 fights. Man, Calvillo is not really looking that great, but I do think that she's gonna be the better wrestler here. Nunes wants to keep this on the feet. And if she can't, I think that Calvillo can win minutes in the clinch and all long cage. Shout out to Shapiro BJJ. Let's go. Room for you guys hard here. Hope Cynthia Calvillo wins the decision. So that's my pick. Cynthia Calvillo via decision. And now next we have 2 girls making their UFC debut in the women's strawweight division. We have Yasmin Jarigui versus Yasmin Lucindo.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
Give me the favorite, Yasmin. And in the next fight, guys, we have a heavyweight fight between Lukas Brzeski and Marlon Buday. Now, Marlon Buday comes in as a favorite at -275, and Lukas the underdog at +210. Lukas is 8-1-1 in his career, whereas Marlon Buday is 10-1. Now, in Lucas's last 5 fights, he's 3-0-2, and Marlon Buday is 5-0. I do like Marlon Buday here. I like him big. And it's funny because, to me, this fight comes down to size and weight. Marlon Buday, last time he weighed in at 260 pounds. Lukas weighed in around 230. He's going to have a huge weight disadvantage, even though the height and reach are the same. And skill-wise, I think Marlon is better. He does a great job again, fights up against the fence, up against the clinch. Now, he did finish Chris Barnett in the clinch with some damaging strikes, but he did have a huge size advantage, and that was a little bit of a layup in that fight. We did have money on Marlon Buday, and I'm thinking about riding with him again. 275 is a little high, but I do think he covers the price here. The size advantage is going to be a big deal in this fight, in my opinion, because the way Marlon fights is he loves to push guys back and get him in the clinch, get him down. Or not even down, just in the clinch. So give me Marlon Buday via 2nd round finish. And up next, we have a lightweight fight between Gabriel Benítez and Charlie Ontiveros. Now, the line currently sits Gabriel, the obvious favorite, -350, the biggest favorite on the card, and Charlie +280. Gabriel is 22-10, and Charlie is 11-8. In Gabriel's last 5 fights, he is 1-4, and Charlie is 2-3. Now I'm going with the underdog here, guys. I'm going out on the island. Shout out to my boy Artem. We're gonna be island boys this week and pick Charlie O. I don't know if I'm gonna be betting him. I honestly doubt. I know I won't be betting him, but I'm picking him, man. This is a winnable fight, even though he gets finished every single time he loses, guys. He's 11-8, 8 professional losses. Gabriel Godinez is 22-10, and he's been finished in a third of his UFC fights. So he's not unbeatable. Like, he's not like some sort of great fighter. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's going up a weight class. He's an older fighter. He has a reach disadvantage. He's gonna be 3 years. Gabriel is 3 years younger than Charlie. Charlie has I believe 6 or 4 inch height advantage and a 7 inch reach advantage. And it's not like he's just some he has like a 5-minute window of winning the fight. Other than that, he's gonna lose. So in the beginning of the fight, it's gonna be live. Gabriel is a better overall fighter. He's a better striker, better grappler, higher fight IQ, more experience, has fought better competition, everything. But I got a feeling, man, the underdog, he's live here, dude. I don't like when a guy's this far into his career, is on a bad skid, and is going up a weight class. So give me Charlie O via KO. I'm going out on a limb on this one. And up next in the flyweight division, we have Ode Osbourne taking on Tyson Nam. Ode Osbourne comes in as a favorite at -250, and Tyson Nam, the underdog, at +185. Osbourne comes into the fight at 11-4, whereas Tyson Nam is 20-12-1 in his career. In their last 5 fights, Ode Osbourne is 3-2, and Tyson Nam is 2-3. And I gotta be honest with you guys up front right away. I have 5 units on Ode Osbourne. Lock of the night. Coors Light. Lock of the night. This fight. Ode Osbourne's gonna win the fight. He's gonna finish Tyson Nam. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, Tyson Nam, right away, big thing that stuck out to me is that he's 8 years older than Osbourne. Osbourne will be the younger fighter, the longer fighter, and the faster fighter. Here's a 4-inch reach advantage over Tyson Nam. Tyson Nam hasn't fought in 18 months. Everything points to Ode here. I will say, even in the striking, this is going to be a striking fight because, guys, Ode is not going to have to worry about getting taken down. In 6 UFC fights, Tyson Nam has landed 0 takedowns. I do think that in the striking realm, Ode will be faster. Obviously, Tyson Nam has the experience advantage, but he's very, like, he doesn't very low volume, but he does get in the habit of being low volume. Sometimes he lets his opponents throw more strikes than him and outpoint him pretty much. I think that Ode Osbourne can outpoint him and he can knock him out. And if he gets to the grappling, he has more submission wins than Tyson Nam. And I just trust him there a lot. If he does get taken down to get up. And also, you know why? Because my homie is one of his coaches. Shout out to Shapiro BJJ again. Syndicate's going to get their second win of the night. Or it might be the first win of the night comparing, I don't know which the card placement. But Ode Osbourne is the lock of the night, guys. Any action, 5-unit play. Ode Osbourne minus 250. Grab your Coors Lights because it's going to be a lock. Oh, yeah. And then the next fight, guys, we have Angela Hill taking on Loopy Gonzalez. Loopy comes in as a favorite at minus 350, and Angela Hill, the underdog, at plus 260. Now, Angela Hill is approaching 500 in her career as she's 13-12, where Loopy is 8-2. Now, Angela Hill is 1-4 in her last 5 fights, and Loopy is 3-2. Now, guys, this is the obvious fight to talk about. Loopy's going to take down Angela over and over and over again and either get a submission, TKO on the ground, or just win a dominant decision. We all know Angela Hill at this point, you know, decision machine. It just always sucks that she's on the wrong side. She's pretty good, like, everywhere, but she's not great anywhere. And she's not terrible anywhere. She has good takedown defense, but that won't matter here because Lupita is just way different level. I feel like she's on her way to be, like, you know, fighting for a belt. I don't know about soon, but, like, eventually she's, you know, looking really good. She actually had a really good performance in her last fight against Carnelossi. Just great wrestling, decent striking, pretty good striking. Angela Hill, you know, really good striking, really good volume. Pretty good takedown defense, but like I said, in her last fight against Jandiroba was getting her down pretty easily. And I feel like if Jandiroba is getting you down, Loopy is going to be able to get you down really easily. So this is going to be a dominant fight, in my opinion. But it's women's MMA, so it's probably going to go to decision statistically. So I think Loopy's a safe parlay piece, so give me Loopy via decision. Up next, we have an exciting bantamweight fight between Youssef Zalal and Damon Blackshear. Now, Zalal comes in as a favorite at minus 115, and Blackshear, the underdog, at minus 105. Zalal is 10-5 in his pro career, whereas Blackshear is 12-4. In Zalal's last 5 fights, he is 2-3. All 3 were in a row. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. And then Blackshear was on the regional scene and went 4-1. Now, Damon is making his UFC debut on short notice here. He fought 2 months ago, and he took this fight on super short notice once Youssef's opponent fell out. Youssef came on the scene, won 3 fights in a row in the UFC, and I was like, oh, this kid's going to be something. Immediately loses 3 fights in a row, and I believe he got cut. But takes a lot of time off, and this is his first fight back, scheduled to fight someone else, takes this guy on short notice. But Damon's a legit bantamweight. He won a regional scene. I forget what promotion he was, but it's not a bad promotion. Wins the bantamweight title there 2 months ago. Takes us on short notice, whereas Zalal is actually making his debut in this weight class. He has 6 UFC fights, so he has a ton of experience at a high level, you know, UFC level. But he is making his debut at this weight class. So if you're someone out there that likes Zalal, either get on him now or wait till the weight cuts, because let's say he looks great at the weight cuts and the money comes in, you're gonna get a worse line. So you might want to get in there now. But at the same time, it's risky because what if he looks like crap on the scales? I mean, it is weight cut. Everyone's gonna look bad during the weight cut, but this guy's, you know, fought there in longer. Damon is a good fighter, good striking, good wrestling. In my opinion, he's more of a wrestler than a striker. Whereas Zalal, I think he wants to keep this on the feet, but I don't know, man. I don't think that he's gonna be submitted on the ground. He did show good submission defense against Ilia Topuria. He's very capable. He's a young kid, man. He's like 25 years old. So with that much experience, give him a second chance here. I think he can come in focused against a guy on short notice who's also taking advantage of a huge opportunity here. He's 3 years older. Zalal's gonna be 3 years younger. But man, I gotta go with Zalal. He's fought higher level fighters, beating higher level fighters. But man, this is gonna be a dogfight. There's a reason why Vegas has the line so close. But I'm going with Zalal via decision. And up next in the welterweight division, we have Jason Witt taking on the UFC debutant Josh Quinlan. Josh comes in as a favorite at -245. Jason Witt, the underdog, +195. Now Jason Witt comes in at 19-8, and Josh Quinlan at 5-0, undefeated. He's obviously 5-0 in his last 5 fights, whereas Jason Witt is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, all 3 via knockout. Jason Witt is obviously well known as having one of the worst chins in the UFC. Can get finished by anybody at any moment. Even in fights he's winning, he can get caught and knocked out. Whereas Josh is a finishing machine, never won a decision. I think he has 6 amateur fights, didn't win a decision there, finished all his amateur fights or in pro fights, goes on to contender series, knocks a scrub out, gets caught for steroids, and still gets signed by the UFC. I was shocked. And then gets a fight. Sure enough, last week, test positive again for some sort of PED, and they can't book the fight. They cancel the fight on fight day. And then they move him to California. I was surprised. I thought they were just going to cancel him, kick him out, forget the fight. And they're like, nope, you're like treating him like John Jones, move to California. Super red flag. This guy's never won a decision, caught Josh. I would love to fade him here, but he's fighting the one guy in the UFC, or not the one guy, but one of the guys that has like the worst possible chin you could ask for. Jason Witt's a good wrestler, and if you can take Josh's best punch with the non-steroids in his body, like with the non-steroided up strength, then who knows? Maybe he can win a decision here, but I'm not trusting him, I'm not betting it. No way. Super like red flag city here. Man, it's crazy that he did the steroid stuff, because obviously I was stunned that they still signed him, and then he got popped again. I will say this though, at the weigh-ins post steroid, getting caught with steroids, he looked way different. On the contender series, he looked jacked. Last week he did not. But man, he should still be able to knock out Jason Witt. So give me Josh via 2nd round knockout. And with that, let's get right into our official bets for UFC San Diego. We have a ton of units on this card so far. To start, we have a 2-leg parlay, -113, 2.16 units to win 1.91 units. We have Chito Vera -240 and Bruno Silva -300. And I think Chito Vera has a good chance of finishing Dominick Cruz late or winning a dominant decision. And I think that Bruno Silva, all he has to do is avoid getting submitted by a one-dimensional fighter. And I think he can knock out Meerschaert on the feet or on the ground at any point in the fight. I think that's a safe parlay, and we're looking to parlay some more actually later in the week. But for right now, that's the only parlay we have, which brings us to our lock of the night. Ode Osbourne, 5 units to win 2, -250. He's a younger fighter, longer fighter, more dangerous fighter in my opinion. Tyson Nam does have power, but he is low volume. I do think that Ode Osbourne's going to be able to win the striking exchanges, be in and out, use his length, and even if he does get to the ground, he's has more submissions than Tyson Nam, like we said about earlier. I love Tyson Nam here. We're looking to get our 12th lock of the night win out of 15 picks. So yeah, man, thanks for all the support. Really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about our lock of the night in the comments. Looking to start our new winning streak. We did lose our 6-week winning streak last week. Lost a unit, but we'll bounce back this week for sure. Thanks for all the support, man. Like I said, leave us a comment. Let me know what you think. See you later.